Caitlin Clark, let it be known, she does not like this Stephanie White offense, how these players in the WNBA don't even know where to move or how to move or where to cut. And that leads to a lot of her turnovers. And she also states how much she misses Lisa Bluder. And I think all of us Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark fans prefer if Lisa Bluder was the head coach of the Indiana.
Caitlin Clark didn't just light up the WNBA scoreboard, she might have just set her entire playbook ablaze, sending shockwaves through the league. Imagine dropping rookie records, then side-eyeing the very offense you're running, before casually wishing your old college coach would swoop in like a basketball fairy tale. Yes, Clark is making waves bigger than a half-court buzzer beater, and the locker room drama brewing could be juicier than any game itself. You won't believe how deep this rift might truly go.
I mean, what's going on here? And I'm sorry, but if Stephanie White's supposed to be this all-world coach, you're not going to show up to a game against the Phoenix Mercury with DeWanna Bonner playing on the other side after what she did to the Indiana Fever franchise, and you show up there and somehow the team is lifeless? Sophie Cunningham coming back to Phoenix and the team is lifeless? That is the coach.
The whispers have grown louder, evolving into an undeniable roar. Caitlin Clark, the phenom herself, isn't just adapting to the WNBA. She's subtly, yet powerfully, expressing her profound frustration with Coach Stephanie White's offensive system. It's been described as a chaotic maze, leaving players scrambling, unsure of their movements, leading to a cascade of turnovers. And amidst this tactical turbulence, one name echoes from her past: Lisa Bluder. The former Iowa Hawkeye feels the absence of her college mentor, a sentiment shared by legions of Indiana Fever fans who long for Bluder's guiding hand at the helm.
Sums up why I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. Don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark. So let's take a listen to this right here. This was on the podcast with Super.
But I think that's even been something me and Steph have always talk about when we go and watch film, and even that New York game where I played really, really well. Obviously scored a lot of points. I think I had 9 assists or 10 assists that game.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double. And is the only reason her team's in the game.
Let's be brutally honest. Stephanie White's offense feels less like a strategic masterclass and more like an HOA meeting about your mailbox color. Rules everywhere. Creativity nowhere. This isn't just a simple disagreement, it's a clash of philosophies. When White's squad showed up lifeless against the Phoenix Mercury, a game against Diana Taurasi and Sophie Cunningham, players known for their fiery competitiveness, it screamed volumes about the coaching. Clark didn't enter the WNBA to politely dribble and follow a pass here, run in a circle handbook. This is the player who, from day one at Iowa, had Lisa Bluder practically tossing her the keys to a Ferrari, saying, "Go drive, don't crash." And Clark? She didn't crash. She took that thing off-road, hit 90 in a 40 zone, and still made it look like a highlight reel.
Man, it's just going to be interesting to see her come back and see this team fully go full circle around their set leader, and I'm still banking on it being Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, they had 19 in the one game and 16 in their previous game without CC even playing.
The contrast with Lisa Bluder's approach couldn't be starker. Bluder understood that high-risk, high-reward plays are the true reward. She didn't panic if Clark threw a risky pass or pulled up from the parking lot. Instead, she doubled down, knowing the next one might be the dagger. At Iowa, it was an offensive symphony. 5 shooters on the floor, incredible spacing, a true post player who rarely missed. Bluder ran practices with an almost spiritual intentionality, ensuring everyone knew their role, their place in the grand, free-flowing design. It was fluid, dynamic, and unapologetically aggressive.
My precious Cece, she was upset. She didn't say nothing, no smiling, walked off, not looking at no cameras. I'm talking about, you can tell it's all on her face. She got it in her mind. But look, I need y'all to understand. That was so embarrassing and pathetic, and the teamwork was not there. But I remember Jordan had got hurt his second year. He didn't come back into playoffs. And that playoff series was legendary. He scored 63 points in one game, but he still lost though.
Then came the Liberty game. Clark was cooking, not warming up, not gently heating, but cooking like the fire department needed to be called. She was untouchable, scoring a lot of points, dishing out 9 or 10 assists, nearly hitting a 32-point triple-double. Fourth quarter rolls around, and she makes 2 turnovers. Big deal. Even Michael Jordan coughed up the ball, and no one yanked him aside to say, "Michael, you're done for the night. Go grab a folding chair." But what happened to Clark? Boom. She's on the bench like a naughty kid in timeout. Her face said it all. Upset, silent, a raw frustration visible for all to see.
The Stephanie White offense compared to what she was doing at Iowa when she took over the world. Let's take a look.
At the college, like it was very similar. Like all I would attack, like we're known to have like 5 shooters on the floor at all time. Like we played with really good floor spacing, and at Iowa it was the same way. Like 4 people were on the floor that could shoot at the same time. Then obviously we usually played with a true post, but they rarely missed too. Like Mon never missed. Like Hannah Stolke was tremendous when I was there too, and even our backup post players. Like I always think about like how Coach Bluder like ran practices and things, and like I'm very fortunate looking back and like now going to like watch other colleges' practices and things like that. Like she really like was so intentional about like making sure everyone was on the same team.
This infamous benching wasn't just about 2 turnovers, it was a glaring spotlight on the WNBA's unspoken hierarchy. Veteran preference. Oh, you thought meritocracy ruled? Cute. In reality, the pecking order is simple. If you've been around longer than a rookie, you can trip over your own shoelaces, miss 3 open layups, and accidentally pass the ball to the mascot, and you're still in the game. A rookie, however, commits 1 flashy turnover trying to make a play. Boom. On the bench. This sends a chilling message to the entire roster. Play it safe, avoid risk, don't try anything new. It's basketball with the excitement surgically removed.
In over 10 years, and Caitlin Clark has something to do with that, man. They was 8-5 with Caitlin. At the end of the day, no matter how many games they win, they lost more games without Caitlin Clark playing. Like, so everybody argument that Caitlin Clark is the Achilles heel, Caitlin Clark is this and that, your argument is obsolete, bro. They will forever have that notion on their, that blemish on there. Now, if they would have won more games, lost less, then you might have had something.
The true tragedy here is how White's system cripples Clark's natural genius. Clark sees plays developing 3 seconds before they happen, a skill most veterans can only dream about. Yet, instead of unleashing that prescience, White keeps her in a tight little box, as if she's afraid Clark might dribble into another dimension if given too much freedom. It's almost ironic. The league demands innovation, but coaches treat it like a technical foul. It's code for, we want you to play our way, even if it kills your natural game. This isn't about Clark having rookie growing pains. It's about stifling the very unpredictability that made her special.
Still lost though. But at the end of the day, he fought. And you could tell that he missed being away from the game. So I can see my precious CC coming back doing her thing for the playoffs. I just want her to be 100% healthy at the end of the day. If Stephanie White gonna keep jeopardizing.
The internal dynamics of the Fever further complicate matters. Lisa Bluder always ensured her players understood their roles. Everyone knew their place, their contribution to the collective. But on the Fever, it's a bullcrap situation. Natasha Howard, for example, reportedly came in talking about wanting to win MVP, a red flag, when you have a player like Clark on the team. It screams a lack of role clarity, a fundamental misunderstanding of how to build a cohesive unit around a generational talent. Howard played well when Clark was out injured, but Clark isn't just scoring. She's orchestrating, and that's the crucial difference.
Indiana Fever fans, so let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100 like a being frank. You hear me? So let me ask y'all again. Is Stephanie White a good coach? A great coach? I'm waiting. No, she not. Not even close. If anything, she puts a star in the offense. She's sucking the life out of the team, out of the franchise. And Kelly Krostoff, whatever her name is, Lynn Dunn, you hear me? They all need to go.
Then there's the peculiar narrative of protecting Caitlin Clark, as if she's a fragile vase on a wobbly shelf. Protect her from what exactly? The basketball court? She's not some porcelain doll. This is the player who routinely walked into enemy arenas in college, dropped 40 points, and strolled out with the crowd booing because she ruined their night. You can't win long-term if the defense knows exactly where the ball is going every single possession. And right now, Clark's offense in this system has all the spontaneity of a DMV line.
Stephanie White, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White, remains fully confident in her team following Thursday's deflating loss. The veteran coach sent a clear message. It was a 35-point ass drubbing. It was Deliverance and Ned Beatty. Anybody seen that? Squeal like a pig? Yeah. The Phoenix Mercury bleeped the shit out of the Indiana Fever last.
This brings us to the elephant in the gym. The WNBA's golden ticket is currently being turned into a mere receipt. If the league keeps letting rigid systems clip her wings, they're going to squander their biggest draw. Receipts don't sell out arenas. Jaw-dropping moments do. When Clark was healthy and playing with some semblance of freedom, the Fever's record was a respectable 8-5. Without her, they lost more games. Any argument against Clark's impact is obsolete. She's the engine, the orchestrator, and stripping away her unpredictability doesn't just change her style, it guts the very essence of what makes fans tune in.
In the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark Stephanie White made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Dantas. Like, we've seen Damiris Dantas play. She can't shoot. Why would Caitlin Clark pass the ball on an all-time heater to Dantas?
This last game this year. I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me, and she was like this is like a learning moment. Like, you got to be able to, like, yes, like maybe it could have been there, like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass, maybe they could have caught it, but like, do we need that in this moment?
Lisa Bluder always made sure people knew what they were going to do, aka she made sure people knew their role. Everybody knew their role, and that is the problem with the Indiana Fever and the bullcrap that Caitlin Clark deals with now. We got Natasha Howard coming in talking about she wanted to win MVP. Red flag. Red flag. We got Caitlin Clark, and you're talking about joining this team and winning MVP. She didn't know her role. Didn't know her role. That is the difference. We got a bunch of people on this team that do not know and understand their role.
Here's the undeniable fix. Bring in coaches who coach to their players, not to their inflexible playbooks. Let Clark run. Let her experiment. And yes, let her make mistakes. The WNBA doesn't need more safe possessions. It needs more jaw-dropping ones. And you don't get that without a little chaos. You want to grow the WNBA? You don't muzzle the most electric player to come into the league since, well, ever. You give her the same freedom she had under Bluder, because that's when she's dangerous. That's when she's the player everyone came to see. Lisa Bluder knew this. She wasn't afraid of the occasional misfire because she understood the bigger picture. It's not just a Caitlin Clark problem. It's a league-wide issue, but Clark is the perfect case study because we've seen what she looks like with freedom. We saw her torch teams with a style that made even neutral fans tune in. Right now, she's being forced into a style that fits the coach's comfort zone instead of her own. And all that does is dim the very spark that made her a household name before she even played a professional game.
Guys, today Stephanie White has a clear conundrum on her hands, and she needs to figure out a solution to this problem before it's too little, too late. When Caitlin Clark was out with injury, Natasha Howard played well. Natasha Howard played well enough that kept us afloat along with Erin McDonald, along with Kelsey Mitchell, but Natasha Howard wasn't nearly as much of a hinder to the offense with Caitlin Clark.
So let's keep it 100. Is Stephanie White a good coach for Caitlin Clark? Not even close. She puts a stall in the offense, sucking the life out of the team and the franchise. And the truth is, the best minds in the game aren't always on the sidelines at the pro level. Some of them are still in the NCAA, running circles around professional coaches with less talent but more creativity. Put a coach like Lisa Bluder in charge of a WNBA roster, and suddenly you've got a team playing like they actually enjoy the sport, scoring 110 points a night without breaking a sweat. Today, Stephanie White faces an undeniable conundrum, and she needs to figure out a solution before it's too little, too late. The WNBA has a golden ticket in Caitlin Clark, but if rigid systems keep clipping her wings, they're going to turn that ticket into a receipt. And receipts don't sell out arenas.